Hi, my name's Trudi Tapscott, and I worked as an agent in New York for many, many years, and I think that New York agents are very specific about who's going to work in New York. New York is really the starting point for long-term careers. Everyone's looking for longevity because they're investing a lot of time and money in you to help you get started. And so no one wants to do that if someone's just going to model for a year. That's not very interesting because the money comes, it takes a little bit of time. So getting the attention of a New York agent is not that difficult if you're exactly what they're looking for. So there's the answer in a nutshell. Like, if you have what they want, then you've got their attention, and it's really easy. But sometimes potential isn't so obvious. There's a lot of times that a model, that a New York agent might not have time to really see all the possibilities. Maybe you as a model, maybe you need to lose a little weight, maybe you need to gain a little weight, maybe your skin isn't so great, maybe your hair's wrong. We have, when you're young, you have a little bit of, baby fat in your face that makes you photograph in a certain way. There's so many elements that go into it that are, sometimes it's just somebody has a bad day. Some agencies in New York have what's called an open call, where anybody can walk in the door. People are human. They could be in a hurry. They could be working on a huge booking for somebody, and your potential isn't obvious at that particular moment, and they don't have time, so they move on. It's like, no thanks, we're not interested, whatever. If you knew how many models in the industry who are top models today who got missed in their first time being introduced to someone, it's shocking. So it does go to show that, the development period doesn't always happen just because you're in New York and modeling full-time. Sometimes the development period happens just when you're at home and you're learning. You can watch, fashion shows online. There's so much information that's available to you by, looking at websites, looking at modeling agency websites. What kind of pictures do they pick for the models? What do their portfolios look like? What does models.com write about models? There's so many sources of information that's valid, from valid people that actually interview legit people. That's how you can tell. If someone does an interview with a website, chances are it's a legit thing if it's somebody who's really in the business. So that if they're actually speaking on film and it's not the written word, that it's real, that they're talking. It's their name and their face, and you can find out about them. So the fact of the matter is that you maybe need to do a little bit more homework. Maybe you need to work a little bit harder at it. Maybe you need to, do some of those things. Maybe you need to actually get smart and do some research and look at those pictures and see what those models have. And it can be kind of an obsessive adventure in a way, and maybe it leads you to another kind of position in the fashion industry. I think everybody grows up and they think, oh, I'm perfect for modeling. Your grandmother, you're tall, everybody says, oh, you're so tall, you should be a model. If it was the only requirement that a New York agent was looking for was you being tall, then there'd be a lot more models out there. It's not the only thing they're looking for. But the industry itself is a big industry, and there's lots of people that might have tried modeling. They started out as a model and they didn't like it. It wasn't for them. Their personality, they didn't like being in a different place every day. There's tons of things, there's lots of reasons why it doesn't work for you personally. But they ended up being a stylist assistant, or they decided to go into makeup, or they decided they wanted to go to, FIT and study design, or, in some ways it can be, an entrance into a completely different world than what you're learning. If it's a business that you're interested in, if you're interested in fashion, modeling's a great way to start.